All right, welcome back. Let's get into our weekly analysis for July 16th. We are currently looking at the monthly here on gold. As we can see here, price has broke our trend line here that we've been watching. We have that deep rejection here from that triple top. Price has broken that trend line. However, price has caught itself right here on demand zone. Let's be mindful that price is right next to touching that trend line that we actually broke, right? And this is looking on the monthly again. But again, we are pushing out of that demand zone. We want to keep that in mind, seeing that this price could potentially hit the trend line and continue to push to the downside. However, again, this is a monthly, so as you can see, we have about 15 days before this candle actually completes. Again, it's just something to keep in mind. As we see, that's where price had actually pushed back from at the top of that wick. We are, just coming to that trend line. We got a really nice push off of that demand zone here, which is really nice. We saw some support, which was, if you can notice, it was pretty much half of this candle right here, right? That nice bullish push that we got from the bottom of this trend line channel. We got that nice push, and then price ultimately pulled back again right here to half of that candle, and then now we are pushing back up. Okay, now we're going to trail over to the weekly. On our weekly here, as you can see, we have that price, right, pushing out of that demand zone. We are still above the 50 here as well. Nice little push off of this trend line right here that price has now broken above, right? So what we do need to see is price break here, okay, for us to see a bit more upside and also break that trend line. So again, for more potential upside, we would like to see a few of these break. And this is given, what price is that? We would need to see 1962. I would say go ahead and take it. So 1984, 1962 to 1984 would be, 1984, somewhere around there. We need to break above basically 1984, honestly, to see more upside, because that would be pretty much breaking all of this structure down, right? But there is still room from right now, price at 1955 to 1984. That's some nice profit right there. So let's keep an eye on that. And again, this is based on the weekly. So heading over to the daily chart as well, we see price has just crossed above the 50 here. We've been beneath the 50 for a while now. Since May, we fell beneath the 50. Let's see. Yeah, May 18th, we fell beneath the 50, and we've been beneath the 50 this entire time. But now we see prices again pushing out of this demand zone. We have a little bit of a pullback as this candle, our last candle, is lower than the candle before it. Want to be mindful of that, as we could potentially see more pullback, okay, on the daily, not on the higher time frames. The higher time frames show that we're in a nice reversal. However, we could see to the downside all of this, in a sense, 1940, right? Because we have all these wicks right here, everything that's going on in that zone, right? So I would say potentially, I don't think 1933, but hey, price can do what it want, depending on how price opens. If we continue to push beneath this 50 here, then I believe all of that is on the table. If we look to the left, we could see the structure here, that 1940. So that's where that was like our break of structure, right? Where when price had first broke, that was our BOS. Price had broke, right? And then we fell into this demand zone, and then we pushed out and broke that structure, and now we're back above that break of structure. But again, price could pull back and hit that structure again and bounce off of it, right, to continue upward. Or we could potentially break that structure and, you know, break it some more down here and then push up, pull back and push up, right? You know, again, there's a million case scenarios, right? I mean, price could even just break it and break down too, right? But again, it's all based on price action. However, again, I'm thinking we can see this level again if we break this 50. If price continues this push down on this daily, then we can see a nice, you know, size correction here to these zones here at 1940. And this again is based on the daily, and then again continue to the upside if it wants to, and see more of that upside to that 1980 level that we saw based on the higher time frame. But then again, however, be mindful that price could open, since we're sitting here on that 50, price could go ahead and open and just go ahead and push up, you know, and then create a support here in this 1955, 54 zone to 1960, create a support here and then push higher. Okay. So as you all know, I trade purely off of price action. Whatever price action gives me, that is what I make my entry and exit decisions on. I do like to use the higher time frames again to create a bias for myself, but I use the lower time frames when I'm trading intraday. But from what I'm looking at, I'm kind of seeing that we're going to get a nice correction, a pullback to the downside, and then proceed to the further upside, because buyers could be having some little buyer exhaustion at this moment. So that's what I see. Let's get it this week. Keep trading. Peace.